there, it's Natasha from NFYFC here with today's topic, which is Zoom polls. Before we get into how to do it and what you need to do, there's a few things that you do need to know. Firstly, the host needs to have a licensed account, so not one of the free Zoom accounts. It needs to be one of the paid for Zoom accounts to be able to do polls. Also, the meetings either need to be a scheduled meeting, or if you want to do it during any other meeting, you need to use your personal meeting ID. So don't generate a new one, use your personal meeting ID, or it can be a scheduled meeting. Also, the host must be on the desktop app like I am now. Don't use the mobile app or the web app if you're trying to do polls. Co-hosts and participants can be on mobiles, that's not a problem, but the main host definitely needs to be on the desktop app to control everything. Okay, now only the original meeting host can add and edit polls. Co-hosts can launch polls once we're actually in the meeting. So let's get started. Now, first of all, you need to log into the web app. So you log into Zoom and come down to settings, because we need to turn polls on. Okay, so we need to scroll down here. It's in the section in meeting basic. So just scroll down until we get to meeting polls. Now I've turned mine on so that I don't have to come in and out of Zoom, so I can still talk to you. Turn meeting polls on. Okay, so that's an important part there. You need to have that on. Okay, so we are in our meeting and we should now see that we are in polls. Okay, so let's click polls. Okay, and I'm going to do a new poll. So I'm going to edit those. This is so we can see in my personal meeting room, and just along the top here, got details and we've got a poll. Okay, you can see some polls that I've added before. I'll just delete those so that you can see. So if you created some before, very often they are in there. So I'm going to add a poll. If I was teaching this live, I would say something like, have you used Zoom polls before? And so, oh, actually, let's do that. That's the name of our poll, so that's Zoom experience. And our first question is, have you used Zoom polls before? And we're going to give two simple yes or no. We could add a third option, but not for this question. And we can do a single question, or we can do multiple choice. If we want multiple choice, we can have add a question. So question 2 could be, do you plan on using Zoom polls soon? And again, I'm just going to do a quick yes or no. Okay, down here is a button for anonymous. So if it doesn't matter whether you see your user's details of who voted for what, then you can just leave that as anonymous, or you can unclick it and then you can see the details of who have voted for certain things. That is entirely up to you as to what type of question it is. For this, I'm just happy that my users give me a rough idea as to how many are doing each. So I'm going to save that. Okay, I'm also going to add a second poll. Now I could run the same poll again, but I'm going to add a poll for later on in my training. So this is post training. I can ask the question, do you feel confident to use Zoom polls? And yes or no. Well, I'm going to add a third option here. I'm going to make another one, maybe, so we can have a third option there. Okay, so I'm going to save that. So I've got 2 polls there. Okay, so if I come back to my meeting, I have 2 polls. So I can see my Zoom experience and my post training. And in my Zoom experience, I have this question. So going in the meeting, and I can launch that poll. So the participants then are now voting. Obviously, there's no one else on this call, so no one's going to be voting. And we can see, if there was lots of people on here, what the general, what the actual votes are. Okay. When we're finished with the poll, we can just end the polling. Okay. We can show the results and show everyone what happened, or we can relaunch the poll. And there's a important point with this. If you relaunch a poll, the results are the current, the second times then results. It doesn't keep the results from the first time you did the poll. It is doing it completely fresh. And when I show you in a minute how to save those results, so you can download them later, it will only be when you've relaunched it, those results that you will see. You will not see the original results. Okay, so we've got our results, and now we can go, actually, I want to do the post-training one. I've run my training now. This is how you use Zoom, and so I'm going to hit the post-training. You can see the question there, and now I can launch this poll. And we can let that one run, and then we can come to the end of polling. Okay, when you finish, you can just click that down, and it's fine there. Once you've ended the meeting, you can actually see a report that you can download of the results of the polls. So we need to go back to the web side of things, okay, and come over here to account management. Just a quick thing, you can't see the details of the polls in here, where you can only edit and delete those. So we're going to come over to account management, scroll down to reports. Now, only if your user account here is an owner or a one of the admins can you actually then see these reports. Okay, so let's come to reports, and there's lots of type of reports that can be done during a meeting. So let's look at our meeting reports. Okay, you can see a registration report is who was on the meeting, or a poll report. Okay, now we won't see anything in there at the moment. The meeting is still live, and it says the report displays poll information for meetings that have ended at least 5 minutes ago. Okay, so once I will have ended this meeting, it will then start to look at those. You can also see what's in the report queue, and that includes reports that have failed to generate reports. Okay, so then you would see the reports that you have there. So it'll tell you what type of report, when, the topic, the meeting ID, and the generation time. So you can actually see and download those reports from your polls. But make sure you choose the poll report. Okay, so that is Zoom polls. I hope you found that useful. So remember, you have to put your settings on in the web so you can actually do polls. You also, when you click the polls here to edit, it will take you to the meetings that you are in and your personal meeting room, and then you go to the poll and you can edit your polls there. Really, the actual desktop app is just for launching and closing your polls. And then when you've finished, you can come to account management and reports to actually download a report of the poll. Okay, but you can only do that once the meeting is over.